Imagine this for a moment. You're holding your phone, looking at the message box, and you're about to type something to him. Most people think they need to send a long, detailed, or overly romantic message to capture a man's attention. But the truth is, it's usually the smallest things that spark the greatest reaction. The hook, the first move, the opening line. It's not about impressing him with the perfect essay. It's about planting a seed of curiosity that he simply cannot ignore. Men are naturally drawn to things that leave a question mark in their minds. If they already know exactly where they stand, if everything is handed to them without effort, the excitement fades quickly. But if you can trigger even the smallest bit of intrigue, suddenly his mind lights up and he feels that pull to chase you. That's the power of just a few words chosen carefully and delivered with confidence. When you text him something short, something that feels like a little spark, instead of a finished story, you open a door in his mind that he desperately wants to walk through. And here's the interesting part: the less you explain, the more he craves to know. Think about it. If you tell him every single detail in your message, there's nothing left for him to imagine. But if you drop a sentence that makes him wonder, that makes him think, what does she mean by that? Suddenly, you've given him a reason to lean in closer. Curiosity is addictive. It's human nature. And when you become the source of it, you become unforgettable. The beauty of using this hook lies in how subtle it is. You're not throwing yourself at him. You're not begging for attention. You're creating an energy where he feels compelled to move toward you. And it doesn't feel forced, because curiosity is a natural magnet. It's the same feeling you get when you watch the first 5 minutes of a movie and the scene cuts at the perfect moment, making you need to know what happens next. That's what you're doing to him with your words. You're giving him the beginning of a story, and his instinct is to chase the ending. What makes this even more powerful is that it sets the tone for the entire dynamic between you. From the very first message, you're positioning yourself as someone who knows her worth, someone who doesn't feel the need to over-explain or prove anything. That confidence is intoxicating. Men don't chase because of what you give them, they chase because of what you make them feel. And the feeling of curiosity, mixed with a little hint of challenge, is irresistible. Think of it this way: if you've ever watched someone unwrap a gift, the magic isn't in the gift itself, it's in the anticipation, the wondering, the excitement of not knowing exactly what's inside. That's what your words should feel like. When he sees your message, he should feel that rush, that buzz in his chest that says, I need to know more. I can't stop here. That's the spark that keeps him leaning in, keeps him chasing, keeps him coming back for more. So when I tell you that just 5 words can completely change the way he pursues you, it's not an exaggeration. It's about the principle behind it. Short, simple, and curiosity-driven hooks are the foundation of attraction. They're what make him pick up his phone faster. They're what make him think about you long after the conversation ends. And they're what make him realize that with you, there's always something exciting waiting around the corner. When you understand the psychology behind why men chase, everything begins to make sense. Men are wired differently when it comes to attraction, and the way they respond isn't always about what you say, but about how what you say makes them feel. At their core, men are driven by a need to pursue. It's in their nature to feel alive when they are moving towards something they desire. But here's the catch. If they don't feel like there's something to move toward, if everything is already certain and guaranteed, the chase dies before it even begins. That's why curiosity and challenge are not just playful ideas. They're psychological triggers. They create the emotional tension that makes a man feel compelled to act. When you send a text that leaves space for him to wonder, you activate that part of his brain that thrives on the unknown. He doesn't just see words on a screen, he feels a tug that tells him he needs to respond, he needs to lean in, he needs to know more. This is not manipulation, It's about understanding human nature. The same way you can't stop turning the pages of a mystery novel because you're hooked by what might happen next. A man can't resist when you spark that same curiosity in him. He doesn't feel obligated to text back. He feels excited to. That difference is everything. Think about how most people approach texting. They either give too much, over-explaining every detail, or they give too little one-word answers that kill the vibe. Neither approach taps into psychology. The balance lies in sending messages that are short enough to leave him wondering, but intentional enough to spark emotion. Men don't chase logic. They chase the feeling that someone makes them come alive. A carefully chosen phrase doesn't just communicate interest. It creates energy. It's that energy that pulls him closer. And here's something important: men often don't consciously know why they are drawn to someone. They just feel it. That's why you don't need to write paragraphs to win his attention. In fact, when you hand everything over too easily, it robs him of the very thing that makes him want to invest: effort. Effort is tied to value. What he works for, he values more. When your words create just enough intrigue, you're giving him the opportunity to invest effort. He has to think, he has to respond, he has to pursue. That pursuit doesn't weaken attraction, it strengthens it. The psychology also comes down to reward. Every time he reaches out, every time he tries to understand you, and you respond in a way that keeps the mystery alive while showing warmth, he feels rewarded. It's not just that he got a reply, it's that the reply makes him feel something: curious, excited, even slightly challenged. That combination fuels his desire to keep going. He doesn't just want to talk to you, he wants to earn your attention again and again. That's when the chase becomes unstoppable. What's fascinating is that when you master this, you flip the script. Instead of being the one waiting for him to make a move, you become the one who sets the tone. You're not chasing him, you're creating an environment where he naturally chases you because he enjoys it. And the more he chases, the more invested he becomes. It's not about games, it's about giving him the emotional experience that keeps him hooked. When you understand that men are motivated not by certainty, but by curiosity and challenge, you unlock the secret to making him pursue you consistently. When people hear the phrase 5 words, they often expect a magic formula, something so powerful it flips a switch in his mind and guarantees he'll never stop thinking about you. But the truth is, it's not about magic at all. It's about understanding how a few carefully chosen words can open the door to his imagination and emotions. These 5 words work because they carry a balance of simplicity and impact. They're not over the top declarations, and they're not cold, empty statements either. They sit in that sweet spot where he feels pulled in, where his curiosity wakes up, and where he starts investing energy into you without even realizing it. Think about how often texting feels predictable. People recycle the same phrases: "How's your day?" or "What's up?" And while there's nothing wrong with them, they don't inspire much. They don't create momentum, they don't stir emotions. But when you send 5 words that are unexpected, playful, or slightly mysterious, you disrupt that pattern. Suddenly, you're not just another person on his phone, you're the one who makes him stop, reread, and smile. That pause, that shift in his energy, is where attraction starts to build. These 5 words aren't about being clever for the sake of it. They're about sparking a feeling inside him that makes him want to know more. For example, a short line that hints at something fun, something he doesn't fully understand yet, or something that gives a glimpse of your personality is far more powerful than a long explanation. The human brain loves to solve puzzles, and when you give him 5 words that feel like the beginning of something, his mind naturally wants to chase the ending. It's the same principle that makes cliffhangers in movies and books so irresistible. What's important to remember is that the words themselves aren't nearly as powerful as the way they're delivered. If you send them with confidence, if they reflect your energy and your playful side, They feel authentic. Men respond to authenticity. They're drawn to it because it feels rare. Anyone can copy a line, but when it comes from you, when it feels like your personality shining through, it hits differently. He doesn't just see words. He feels who you are behind them, and that feeling is what makes him chase. Another thing these 5 words do is create a frame. When you choose words that suggest you have something interesting going on, that you're not waiting around for his attention, you naturally communicate value. It's not about bragging or trying too hard. It's about showing through subtle hints that your world is exciting and worth being a part of. Men chase when they believe they might lose out on something extraordinary, and those words give him that sense without you ever having to spell it out. When used correctly, this formula taps into his emotions without you needing to force anything. It doesn't feel like strategy to him. It feels like chemistry. He's not sitting there analyzing why he suddenly wants to text you back faster or why he can't stop thinking about you. He just feels it, and that's the beauty of it. The right 5 words, delivered in the right way, make him want to lean in, make him want to put in more effort, and make him see you as someone who excites him more than anyone else. This isn't about manipulation or trickery. It's about stepping into your own power and recognizing that your words can carry immense influence when used with intention. Attraction grows in moments of surprise, in the spaces where emotions are stirred, and in the energy that keeps him curious. That's exactly what these 5 words provide. They're not a spell, they're a spark. And once you light that spark, the chase becomes inevitable. What truly makes these 5 words so powerful isn't just that they spark curiosity, but that they create an emotional pull he can't ignore. Attraction isn't sustained by looks alone, or even by witty conversation. It's sustained by emotion. A man will only chase endlessly if he feels something when he's around you or when he's reading your messages. The most effective way to create that emotional pull is to make him feel like you're slightly out of reach, like you are someone he could lose if he doesn't step up. That tiny sense of urgency makes his effort multiply. When he believes your attention is valuable and not guaranteed, he invests more energy into making sure he keeps it. This emotional pull works because it taps into something men rarely admit: the fear of missing out. When he feels that your world is exciting, full, and moving forward with or without him, he instinctively wants to secure his place in it. If your words suggest you have options, passions, and standards, you're giving him a gentle reminder that he has to rise to meet your energy. That's not about playing hard to get. It's about creating a healthy dynamic where he values what you bring and wants to work for it. People don't cherish what comes too easily, but they treasure what feels rare and meaningful. When you craft a message that implies he has to take action, you stir his emotions in a way that keeps him chasing. For instance, if your words carry a hint of playfulness combined with subtle challenge, he feels excited and a little nervous at the same time. That blend is intoxicating. It's the same feeling you get when you're standing on the edge of something thrilling. You're a little unsure, but you can't wait to dive in. That's exactly what keeps him coming back. He's not chasing because he has to. He's chasing because the experience of chasing you makes him feel alive. The emotional pull also grows stronger when your words connect to his deeper needs. Every man wants to feel desired, but he also wants to feel like he's earning that desire. If he feels that you only give your energy and affection to someone who shows up fully, he begins to attach more significance to every interaction with you. He no longer sees your text as just another conversation. He sees it as a sign that he's doing something right, that he's getting closer to winning your heart. That emotional meaning is what transforms ordinary attraction into something addictive. It's important to realize that this pull isn't about being cold or distant. If you were too distant, he'd lose interest. If you were too available, he'd take you for granted. The magic lies in striking that balance where your warmth is undeniable, but it's paired with an energy that says, I'm not waiting around. That balance is magnetic. It makes him feel both safe in your presence and challenged to give more of himself. Men thrive on that duality. It's what makes the chase feel worth it. So when you send those 5 words, remember it's not just the phrase itself, it's the emotion behind it. Do they make him feel like you're playful? Do they suggest that you have standards? Do they show that you're inviting him closer while still leaving room for him to prove himself? Every nuance matters because attraction is emotional, not logical. He doesn't sit there analyzing why he's texting you more. He just feels drawn. He feels like if he doesn't move fast, someone else will. That's the invisible string that pulls him toward you again and again. Once you understand how to create this emotional pull, you'll see a shift in his behavior. He'll chase not because you asked him to, but because the thought of not chasing you feels unbearable. That's when you've truly tapped into the psychology of attraction. What makes a man stay interested and keep chasing isn't just the thrill of curiosity or the emotional pull of knowing he could lose you. It's the delicate balance you create between warmth and mystery. This balance is what keeps attraction alive over time. If you lean too heavily into mystery, you risk coming across as cold or distant, which eventually makes him give up. If you lean too much into warmth, you risk making things too predictable and the chase loses its excitement. The sweet spot is where he feels your affection, but never feels like he's figured you out completely. That blend keeps him intrigued, invested, and eager to keep pursuing you. When you show warmth through your words, you let him know that his effort matters. Men need to feel that their pursuit is being received, that their energy isn't wasted. Something as simple as appreciation, playfulness, or even a smile through your tone tells him he's on the right path. That warmth is reassuring. It makes him feel connected to you. Safe in the sense that he's not wasting his time. But the moment you combine that warmth with just a touch of unpredictability, you elevate the connection. You remind him that there's always more to discover about you, more layers to unfold, and that discovery is what keeps him hooked. Mystery doesn't mean being vague for no reason or playing games that frustrate him. It means leaving space for him to wonder, to imagine, and to put effort into finding out more. It's as simple as not revealing everything at once, or hinting at something without explaining it fully. That little gap you create invites him to lean in. It's like giving him a puzzle where each piece is revealed slowly. He enjoys putting it together because every piece he earns feels like a reward. And with each reward, his desire to chase grows stronger. The reason this balance is so powerful is that it taps into both sides of his psychology. The warmth satisfies his need for connection, while the mystery triggers his instinct to pursue. If you gave him only one, he'd either feel unchallenged or unappreciated. But when you give him both, he feels energized. He doesn't just want your attention, he wants to earn more of it. That's when he starts investing more time, more thought, and more effort into you without you ever having to ask. Imagine how it feels when someone shows you they care, but at the same time keeps surprising you. That's exactly the energy you want to create. He should feel like every interaction with you has the potential to reveal something new. Maybe it's your sense of humor. Maybe it's the way you phrase things, or maybe it's just the way you hold back slightly, leaving him craving the next message. That anticipation becomes addictive. He's not chasing because you're distant. He's chasing because the mix of closeness and intrigue is irresistible. What's even more important is that this balance communicates confidence. When you can be warm without being overly available, and mysterious without being cold, it shows that you know your value. You're not overcompensating or trying too hard. You're simply being someone who enjoys connecting but doesn't need to give everything away at once. That quiet confidence is magnetic. Men are drawn to women who seem secure in themselves because it signals that being with you is a privilege, not a guarantee. So when you think about those 5 words, Remember, they should always carry both elements, an undertone of warmth that makes him feel good and a hint of mystery that keeps him guessing. That combination is what makes him read your message twice, smile to himself, and feel that urge to keep coming back for more. It's the balance that transforms casual interest into non-stop pursuit, because he never feels like the chase is over. The most exciting part of this process is what happens once you've mastered it. When you learn how to use just a few words to spark curiosity, when you understand how to tap into his psychology and create that emotional pull, and when you strike the perfect balance of warmth and mystery, something shifts. Suddenly, you're not the one wondering if he'll call, text, or show up. You become the woman who sees him consistently putting in the effort, chasing your attention, and trying to prove himself worthy of your time. This is the result of setting the right tone early on. It creates a dynamic where the chase doesn't fade, it grows stronger. When a man feels that spark every time he interacts with you, he doesn't get bored. Instead, he becomes more invested. The more invested he feels, the more he chases. And what makes this so powerful is that the effort he puts in isn't forced. He's not doing it because you demanded it or because he feels pressured. He's doing it because he genuinely wants to. That difference matters. When a man chases out of obligation, it eventually turns into resentment. But when he chases because he feels inspired and drawn to you, it becomes a natural expression of his attraction. He enjoys it. He thrives on it. It makes him feel alive. This non-stop pursuit is the reward of everything you've built through your words. It's not about stringing him along or playing with his emotions. It's about creating a connection that feels exciting and meaningful for both of you. He feels the thrill of pursuing you, and you feel the joy of being pursued by someone who is putting in real effort. That dynamic creates a cycle. The more he chases, the more connected he feels, and the more connected he feels, the harder he chases. It becomes self-sustaining, and that's why it lasts. What's also important is that this process helps you naturally filter out the wrong men. A man who isn't genuinely interested won't chase for long. He may respond once or twice, but if he doesn't have the emotional investment, he'll fall away quickly. And that's actually a gift, because it shows you he was never going to give you what you deserved. The right man, on the other hand, won't just keep chasing. He'll enjoy the chase. He'll see you as someone worth fighting for, worth impressing, and worth holding on to. That's how you know the connection is real. Another beautiful part of this result is the way it shifts the power dynamic. Instead of feeling like you need to earn his attention or prove yourself to him, you naturally step into the role of being the prize. And not because you forced it, but because you embodied it. Your words, your energy, your balance of warmth and mystery all communicate that you are someone who knows her value. That energy is magnetic, and it ensures that he doesn't just chase you in the beginning. He keeps chasing you long after. So imagine what your relationship looks like when this becomes the norm. You're not second, guessing yourself. You're not waiting for breadcrumbs of attention, and you're not settling for half-hearted effort. Instead, you're with a man who is showing you daily through his actions that he wants to be there. He's pursuing you because every interaction with you makes him feel more alive, more excited, more connected. That is the result of understanding how powerful your words can be. At the end of the day, those 5 words are not just about getting a text back. They're about creating a ripple effect that changes the entire dynamic between you. They open the door to non-stop pursuit because they make him feel something he doesn't want to lose. And when a man feels that way, you never have to question whether he'll chase. You'll see it in everything he does.